What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Here still at Cherokee, North Carolina. The last 1-3 session was a little ridiculous. Not your typical one. I kind of wanted, the whole point of this series was to show you guys it's possible to win in 1-3 and in normal games, I guess. So it's like 2 days later, that ridiculous like 48 straddle game. And yeah, it's like a 3 p.m. on a Sunday or Monday. I don't even know what day it is right now. But I want to show you guys a more accurate depiction of what a normal 1-3 game is. And we're gonna do that today. So hopping in, it's like $300 or something like that to start off. And yeah, Starbucks in hand. Not sponsored by Starbucks, it's just too expensive. But yeah, we're gonna hop in and see how it goes. Maybe this will be a more normal game, not as action heavy, maybe a little more tame. 1-3 at Cherokee, let's get into it. With $300 in my stack, I pick up a very fun suited connector to start. I'm in the small blind and there gets 4 limpers to me. You know I don't like limping. Let's make these pots bigger. In the 1-3 streets, I raise it up to $25 and only get one player to make the call, who's in middle position. This player seems pretty new to the game, and we're off to a flop, which comes 9-7-5 rainbow, 9 high with top pair, and a gut shot straight draw. You know I'm in here. I decided to bet out $35, and for $35 here, this opponent makes the call. When he calls, I'm expecting to kind of be good here a lot of the time, to be honest with you. It's hard to put new players on ranges, but who knows? He could float with ace high, he can call with a draw. We're off to a turn, which comes the 4 of hearts, so pretty safe card for my hand. Yes, it improves a few 2-pair combos, but if I'm good on the flop, I better be good on this turn. I bet $65 here, and my opponent, once again for $65, makes the call with about $190 behind. Now off to a river, which is a Bink 6. That's right. Starting things off hot. I'm running good once again with the straight. I mean, I lose to 10-8, but so be it. I decide to go all in because I'm going for the max, and my opponent goes into the tank. And I mean, basically, we have the nuts with an 8. I win every single time when I fade a snap call, or even when he takes 30 seconds. Like, yeah, my hand's good. I have the winner, and I'm just waiting on him to make a decision. Way too long goes by before he ultimately calls. Thank goodness. I get paid, I show, and my opponent shows 10-8 for the actual nuts. Remember when I said 10-8 is the nuts? I have the second nuts. What? I just got mega coolered in this hand. Can someone tell me what's going on? Did I say he was a new player? I'm speechless. Whatever. Rebuy. All right. Floor, cage, chips. Need more of those. And let's hop into the next hand with Queen 9 of diamonds in the cutoff. There are 2 players who limp, and you know I'm gonna raise at this point. I'm stuck and I'm steaming. I raised up to $15, and I get the early position player goes all in for 39 total. Okay, it's an all-in pot. I'm going to call for the $14 or $24 more. We're off to a flop, which comes 9-9-7. Of course, that would happen. Yeah, trip 9s. That's going to win it. I mean, of course, I basically have the nuts, and I take down a sweet, sweet pile of $30 profit because of the rake and such. So, you know, it's always nice to double up an opponent, and then the very next hand, I stack an opponent for basically the minimum. But moving on, I have ace queen off suit under the gun, very good hand. I raise up to $12, and I get the player to my left to 3-bet to 30. The player to her left makes the call, and it folds to me. All right, this is a really good hand. I'm out of position, and it's not the most ideal situation to be in. But when you're playing out of position, I think I'm more incentivized to squeeze pre-flop here. So yeah, let's go with it. I 4-bet to $140 because I am just playing as high variance as possible. What's cool is that both players actually end up folding rather quickly, and I take down $60 break free. So anytime to win a hand break free in the 1-3 streets, it is a big win for me. All right, how can we get unstuck out of this session? Maybe this hand with Queen Jack off suit. I'm in the small blind, and there's a middle position player who limps, of course. I try to isolate and raise it up to $20. This is the same player from the very first hand. So, you know, I want him in here. I want to blow up the size of the pot. And when he does make the call, Loving it. We're off to a flop of King 10-7 to diamonds. Hitting the open-ended straight draw. Would love to hit my outs, but this board really favors me. So I bet out $35 here, just trying to build a pot some way, somehow, and my opponent makes the call. So hoping to play a big one, and the turn is the Bink Ace of Hearts. Oh boy. My opponent has about $700 in his stack, and of course, I want to get all of it now, sitting with the Stone Cold Nuts. I size up to $80 here, want to bet a little bit bigger, want to get more money in the middle and build a pot, and my opponent just folds. Seems like I'm getting soul read somehow by this guy. He, goes all in with the nuts and gets the max versus me, and folds when I have the nuts. And you know what's really unfortunate is that shortly after this hand, my opponent ends up racking up. So no one really has chips at this table, but let's try to crawl out of this hole here. I have ace queen off once again on the button. There's an undergun raise to $6. +1 makes the call, and I'm not going to stand for this sizing. I 3-bet to 30. What's great is that the undergun player ends up making the call, so I get some action, but not much behind in this stack, unfortunately. Maybe $100. We're off to a flop of ace 8-6 to diamonds. That's great because ace high boards are nice to see. He decides to lead out for $25. So that's interesting. Kind of confused, but I think I have an easy decision. There's a draw on the board. I have ace queen. Very low SPR on the turn. I just put them all in, and my opponent tanks. I'm confused. What did my opponent bet on this flop without committing his stack? And after some thinking, he ends up just folding? Very frustrating day so far, unfortunately, if you can't tell from this commentary. But I guess I'll take it. I'll keep winning the very small pots. And yeah, trying to crawl out of this hole somehow. Need to play a big one. So I'm trying to force the action here when this hand starts off with a button straddle of $6. 3 players limp for 6, and I have 5-4 off suits. Against these opponents, I am just going to build a pot. I raise things up to $40 with the natural 9. And what's cool is that all of these people that were committed pre-flop, only one of them makes the call. So one limper makes the call here, and I think it's a pretty good exploit here to play very wide when opponents are going to play rather tight. Granted, I think 4-5 offsuit, a little too wide, but let's get into it. The flop comes ace-king 5, so that's interesting. My opponent checks, and I have some mixed feelings here. My opponent can easily have any kind of ace, but on the flip side, if I'm betting my bottom pair here, I could get pocket pairs to fold rather easily. So I go for it with the pair. I bet out $25, and for this price, if I see him continue, I'll probably have to shut down as I think he has a strong hand. He does end up making the call, so shutting down until I improve. The turn comes the 10 of hearts, which is not the card I'm looking for, so we go check, check. River, 6 of hearts, which was very close to a 5, but not quite. Action goes check, check once again, and my opponent has ace, jack of diamonds. Looks like I'm running into it today. Looks like today is not the day for me, and that's where we call it a wrap. Going to rack up and book a loss for this session. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This session was frustrating. It started so frustrating with the first hand with basically what I thought was the nuts. Guy tanks for forever, then calls with the actual nuts. Can't beat the guy. 1-3 is a crazy, crazy game, I guess. And then when he racked up, then there was basically no hope to ever break even. But I ended up booking a relatively small loss after how bad it started. I was in the game for $1,000 in this casual 1-3 session. I was out of the game for $870, which is an L, after playing about 3 hours of poker here, and bankroll challenge trending in a little bit of the wrong direction, and now my profit's at around $2,700 throughout all of this whole fun journey. But I guess that's how poker goes. You can't just sun run your way into $5,000 profit without any resistance. So it was bound to happen for sure, a losing session. But thanks so much for watching this video. Appreciate you guys for sticking to the end. And of course, there will be more. So tune in tomorrow at noon Eastern time and 9 a.m. Pacific. Posting a video every single day here in December. And let's try to rebound from this one. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.